right, good morning, folks. Um, Welcome to Derita Matters, uh, our Zoom meeting for May 2025. And I'll just run through quickly the area that we cover in these meetings. And just to orient folks, if you're not, but downtown Derita is centered at Mallard Creek and Sugar Creek. And the rough boundaries 77 in the west, 85 kind of along the south here, and then Harris Boulevard completing that runs between 77 and 85. So everything inside there is other that's the rough barriers for what we try to track in this meeting, with the main focus on land use, rezonings, and then other issues that bubble up over time with existing owners, businesses, and residences that we need to deal with. That's another view of the area on a Google map, just to show that it is about a 2.5 mile radius from downtown Derita. The two projects that we're going to be talking to today, we have our two guests. The one is just south of 85 on North Graham over here. So technically a little bit outside of the area, but it's all connected, as we know. And then the other is within the neighborhood over here somewhere off Oneida Road. So there's not a lot of road detail on that map, but both projects are kind of in this section over here. If you can see my cursor, I hope you can. Quality of Life Explorer is the data treasure trove that I use to pull data, and it's always being updated, and some of the stuff is only updated with each census, but there's a lot of data there, and I invite you all to check that out if you ever want to know anything, just about anything from school truancy to home ownership. It's there. And so this is just a summary of some of those stats that I pulled at the beginning of 2025. So they were current at that time. Our meeting dates, nothing, no Zoom in June unless we need to call one, but we will be having a social breakfast on June 7th. And there may be some calls for public meetings. I will pretty much be on vacation for a lot of June, but June 7th we will have that social breakfast again at Maria's, unless anybody's got any strong feelings to do something else. Let me know. All right, introductions. I should have said right from the beginning, I'm Teresa McDonald. I am a resident of the area since 2007. I am on the Planning Commission for the City of Charlotte. I'm on the board for the Derita Statesville Road Community Organization. I'm a realtor in my spare time. No, just kidding. That's my full-time job. And yeah, just passionate about the area and trying to keep people informed, basically, which means I often get shot as the messenger, and I don't, I've learned to live with the wounds. And I will just call on you guys, and then I know, Joy, you have a time constraint. Whitney, what about you?
Yeah, I do. So I will have to leave around 6:45 just because I'm actually on the West Coast.
Oh,
So it's a little early over here, so I
yeah.
got to get my kids up. But I have a bit of time. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we'll have to let you guys go first and go quickly through your presentations. So let's keep it quick with the introductions, guys. I will call on you, Mel Renner.
Yes, I serve on the board for the Derita Statesville Community Organization, retired as a procurement officer with the city of Charlotte, and longtime HOA president of the nearby community.
Thank you, Mel. Thomas.
I give myself off mute, that would help. This is Thomas Templeton. I'm in the Royal Oaks neighborhood. I'm the former neighborhood president and also on the board of the Derita Statesville Road organization. And for Royal Oaks is within the corner of Sugar Creek and Graham Street Road, Sugar Creek Road and Graham Street, right behind the fire station on Sugar Creek.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. Welcome.
Good morning, Melissa Gaston. Glad to be here. I guess my camera on. There we go. I'm glad to be here. I am on the Planning Commission with Teresa as well. I also am a realtor, and I am the executive director for the North End Community Coalition, which represents the 8 neighborhoods that surround Camp North End. And I just found out by looking at your map that I guess I'm in your area. I just bought a house recently in this area. So yes, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, you are. Okay, folks, Jill Stevenson.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Jill Stevenson. I'm the HOA president for General's Point off of Gibbon Road.
Okay, Blanche Penn. Carolyn.
Yes.
We're doing introductions quickly, please.
Okay, Carolyn Gardner. I'm a homeowner off of Mallard Creek Homes. Glad to meet everybody.
Welcome. Thank you. Jeffrey. Sorry, I meant to go to you.
No problem. I'm Jeffrey Simpson. I'm the president of my Farmington HOA, which is between Mallard Creek and Sugar Creek off of Hubbard Road. I'm also a member of the Citizens Review Board. I'm sure I'm supposed to mention that. And also the Neighborhood Matching Grant. And a recent graduate, Teresa, of the Citizens Leadership Academy, as well as the Neighborhood Leadership Academy.
Thank you. Thank you. Mark Watson.
Hey, everybody, resident and otherwise interested party. Thank you.
Awesome. I think I got everybody. Did I get everybody? Jack.
Blanche. Good morning. Retired computer consultant last year and current board member of Derita Statesville Road and member of American Legion Post 345 and heading over there for a little remodeling work after this meeting. Whitney, I'd love to hear what part of the West Coast you're from, but we can include that as part of your intro or presentation.
Awesome. Thanks.
Teresa Blanche, Dr. Blanche Penn.
Thanks, Blanche.
Good morning, Dr. Blanche Penn. I'm in the Great Oaks area. We've been up in Washington, D.C. All week, and guess who I ran into? Tom Tillis. And we're up here fighting for Medicare and Medicaid.
Okay, thank you, Blanche. Kelsey McCain.
Hey, how you doing? I'm just a resident of Allen Hills community.
Allen Hills representing.
Allen Hills and Cary Hills since 1983. Just trying to get some information about what's going on. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. And who is HB?
Hi, my name is Herbert Ballard. I'm the president of the Central Divine Town Church. And I'm also a recent graduate of the NLA with Jeffrey. Jeffrey is most kind. He did the best And to since we
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, HB, your sound is terrible. I hope that put it in the chat, where you're from. Thank you. And we're gonna move on. So let's go to, I had Union at North Graham first on my schedule. And I'm sorry, we're just on a bit of a time crunch here. Kelly Preston, I do see you there from the city of Charlotte. And I hope I've got everybody. Do you have slides to share?
I do, yes.
Okay, let me find you again and let you share. Sorry, I'm on my laptop, which is just a horrible experience because where are you? Okay, there. Thank you. I guess I have to make you a co-host to let you share.
Let me send a request
Okay.
and see what happens.
Not sure what to, okay, there we go, allow. Okay. And I have to stop sharing, I'm guessing. Thank you.
Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
5 by 5.
Okay. Good morning. I will be quick because I don't want Whitney to have to wait too long. So my name is Joyce Skidmore with the Annex Group. We are proposing a project Union at Graham along Oneida Road, and I'll show you here in just a minute exactly where that's at. The Annex Group, we are a vertically integrated developer, which means that it's a fancy way of saying we do our own construction, our own development, and then our own property management. This will be our third project in the Charlotte area. We have one Union at Tryon that's getting ready to open here in the next couple of weeks. Actually, the first building will be ready for occupancy. And then we have a second one that's getting ready to close on financing and starting construction. That's Central at Old Concord. That's also on Tryon. And then this will be our third one. We have a fourth one in North Carolina that is Annex of Raleigh that is also under development, and hopefully we'll be closing on financing and starting construction in a couple of months. So very familiar with the North Carolina area. In my previous life, I did a lot of development as well for another developer in North Carolina. So have spent a lot of time down in your beautiful state for sure. We also have a sister company that is Impact Housing Corp. That is a nonprofit that we bring into every one of our developments to create a tenant impact plan. So they work with local community organizations, typically nonprofit, local nonprofits, to provide services to our tenants. And, you know, that would be anything from literacy classes, budgeting classes, to food pantries, anything and everything. We have a director that really tries hard to find the right partners for our projects. So this one, as I said, is on Oneida Road. So if you come off I-85 on Graham and then take a left on Oneida, you come around this curve, there's this wooded area here right across from Cardinal Glen. That is the project site. We are planning, it's approximately 7 acres, almost 7 acres site there. We're planning 198 units, approximately 300 parking spaces. We're still trying to finagle a few more if we can. These will be 2 5-story stick-built apartments, and they will be 1, 2, and 3 bedroom. The site is zoned appropriately. It's N2B, so we're not asking for any variances, rezones, anything like that. We did another neighborhood meeting where we sent out postcards for our housing trust fund application. It was required that we notify the neighborhood of this, and then Teresa had asked us to come back and present again here at this neighborhood meeting. So that is the reason for all the notifications if you receive them. So our site plan again consists of 2 buildings. Building A would be, this is Oneida here. If you can, oh, can you see my cursor? Yeah, this is Oneida here. So we have one that's parallel and then another that is perpendicular to Oneida. So our proposed amenities include playground, outdoor covered, grilling area, gazebo. Interior amenities include a community room, fitness center, and a computer center. So again, oops, go back here. Again, no variances, no rezones or anything needed. This has been through planning on a sketch plan. So it's basically a conceptual plan that has gone through planning. They have concurred that after some significant modifications we made that regarding pushing this building up to the road and things like that, we do meet code with this plan. And so we have a 100-foot buffer back from the curb. And then we have this tree save area as well. So all of the trees in this zone would remain. And then also in these two areas down here, we meet open space requirements, parking, all things of that nature. So, and then I've kind of located our outdoor amenities. They'll be on the interior of the property here. So the building floor plans, these are 5-story buildings. So this one, we'll call it a basement level, is where all of our interior amenities, we do have on-site leasing, on-site management, and on-site maintenance in all of our communities. And again, this will be where all of our interior amenities, it'll make more sense when I show you the elevation. Sort of this is floor 1, and then in this area here, there are 5 floors above that. And then this is 5 stories above. And then in our second building, which is the one that's perpendicular to Oneida, we have this community space plan. So the city of Charlotte asked that we basically remove 2 units from our plan and plan to have a space for just a nonprofit to operate in the building. We haven't identified that nonprofit yet. Again, Impact Housing Corp, our sister nonprofit, will work to partner with someone to utilize the space. So we don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but we do know we're programming a space for a nonprofit to operate in this facility. So here again, this is the building that is parallel to Oneida. So here, this is where it makes a little more sense. We have our basement, I'm calling it a basement amenity area here with 5 stories above, and then you can see the step in the roof where we're just basically utilizing the grade of the site, and we have 5 stories there of all units. This elevation at the bottom is the one that would be facing Oneida. And then this is the second building elevations. This is all just 5 stories on grade, no steps in the building. You can see this would be the elevation on this side, this north elevation, which would face Oneida. And this is that community space that I mentioned that we're working to partner with a nonprofit on. So real quick on our schedule, it's going to take us at least a year to get through Charlotte approvals. Again, what you see is what we have designed so far. So we have a lot of engineering, a lot of architectural planning to get through between now and then hopefully we'll have permits in the spring of next year. It's approximately a 2-year construction period. And that's probably a little bit generous, but we like to allow our construction team 2 years, given the challenges in the Charlotte market. It just takes a little longer to build things. It takes a little longer to permit things, which is why we have a year programmed in there for design and permitting. And then, so that puts us in a like a grand opening more towards spring of 2028. So that's the plan right now. Okay, that's it. I'm happy to answer questions, concerns.
I have a quick one, if I may. I'm Jeffrey Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, because of the different boards I'm on, with these 1 to 3 bedroom apartments, what do you anticipate the monthly cost to be?
So these will be, this is a 4% low income housing tax credit deal. So it will be income based. So it's 30 to 70% AMI rents. So it just depends on what those rents are at the time. The HUD rents, I apologize, I should have had the pro forma pulled up. So I don't know exactly the rents we're projecting now, but they are the 30 to 70% AMI rents.
Thank you. Jack has his hand up.
Yeah. Can you go back to one of your site plans? I'd like to see the fascia of the building. Are you looking at, because you're looking at a fairly long stretch there, are you looking any variation of architectural features? So you're not just looking at one long slab of building wall, or
Yeah, the code actually requires that we have some undulation in the building. And also important to mention that all of our units have balconies or patios. So that also provides some natural undulation in the building as well. But yeah, we're not allowed to have one long face or we won't meet code.
and then what about any on-site management once construction is complete and rent is?
Yep, all of our management is on site for a project of this size.
Fantastic. Thank you for your answers.
I have a question. Did you say the building facing Oneida will really be 100 feet from the street?
Yeah, it's 100 feet. It's set back 100 feet from the curb. So I don't know if you can see this dashed line here.
Yeah.
That is a code requirement that we be 100 feet back from the curb.
All right. And then the biggest question on my mind, and I'm sure if there's anybody on this call who actually lives in Cardinal Glen or Allen Hills, Cary Hills, North End Commons townhomes, and all the new townhomes that are currently being constructed, people have been clamoring for a traffic signal at Oneida and North Graham. Has that come up at all in your discussions with CDOT?
So we're very early on. So CDOT, I don't believe CDOT reviewed the sketch plan.
Okay.
Or if they did, it was only for like where our entrance is located and does that make sense kind of thing. So I think they're reserving their comments for when we get to construction documents. So, but all of our other projects have required a traffic scoping to be submitted. And so most likely, I think the staff's probably going to recommend that or require that we do a traffic scoping for this project as well.
Traffic scoping, is that a study? Or
it's not a full study, but it does take into account, basically the recommendations that it's laid out in all of the code and code requirements and everything. And so it looks at, okay, how much traffic are you adding? And so, okay, here's, you're adding this much traffic. All right, here's what's required kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Does anybody have anything else pressing? Otherwise we can move to Whitney because we're definitely on a time.
I have a question. Kelsey McCain, Garbage Drive, once again, Allen Hills. Traffic being said that it's busy there now. I've been living on there for like 42 years. So I'm seeing a lot of growth and development over there. Basically, my thing is low-income apartments are coming over there near older folks' homes. The crime level, you know what I'm saying? That's just my biggest concern.
Okay, thank
Because
you.
it's an older neighborhood next door to that site that you're gonna be building at.
Yeah.
So just trying to see if there's anything like they're gonna have security over there or anything patrolling in that area.
So we do a security study on all of our projects as well to identify exactly what is needed. But at a minimum, we always have cameras. We typically don't gate our communities unless we absolutely, feel that it's necessary. So it won't be gated most likely, but we do have, key fob entrances, secure entrances, all of those things, and cameras in the parking lots, on entrances, and then inside the common areas within the building as well. So
okay, that's all I have. I just wanted to know. That's all. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Teresa, my quick one to Joy, I believe it is. you mentioned the AMI. I think the AMI here now is like 78,438. So at 70%, correct my math if I'm wrong, let's say you use the 70%, that would be something like 1960 for an apartment. Would that be about right?
Hang on just a second. I will pull up our latest pro forma.
Are you trying to calculate the rent, Jeffrey?
Yes.
So 70% of the median and then a third of that?
Well, what I did was I took the 78,438, that should be the AMI now, at 70%. It comes out like the 23 and I divided by 12 would come out to like 1960. So I didn't know if that was the right calculation.
No, okay, no, it doesn't work like that. But let's see what Joy has.
Yeah, so our 30% AMI rents, we have 20% of our units were required to be at 30% AMI rents. That is $549 to $749. Then we have 50% units. Those are 2s and 3s. That's $1,157 to $1,332. Our 60% unit, which is only our 2 bedrooms, $1,410. And then our 70% AMI units are $1,370 to $1,916.
Okay. And that's just based on numbers now. It'll
That's
be
correct.
It's
yeah. Those are 2025 rents. Yeah, that's 2025.
Yeah. As the AMI fluctuates.
Right.
Question: would you rent on a first come first served basis or on a lottery or perhaps a third option I'm not thinking of?
It's usually first come first serve qualified, right?
Qualified.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, folks. If that is everything, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming, Joy, and we'll follow the process. I believe the city has approved Housing Trust Fund dollars. I think that was voted on this week.
Yes.
And so the next step would be, I mean, apart from all the permitting and so on, would be the state's allocations.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Well, if you wouldn't mind keeping us posted, and if you need to talk to this group or, communicate to us, you know where to find us.
Okay. Well, thank you all.
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teresa?
Yes.
Hi. Just a quick question. What happened to our BP gas station?
Which BP gas station? Oh, the one on West Sugar Creek?
Yes, no, Sugar Creek and Mallard Creek.
I don't know. I have tried to find out, and I do not have an answer yet. They own, the same entity sold the land for the townhomes, and so, but I don't know. I do not have an answer on that yet.
Okay, I'm new to your meetings. I'm trying to keep up.
Thank
I've got
you.
a lot of things on my plate. I will try to keep up. If not,
Thank
try
you.
to make your meeting.
Yeah, and if anybody gets any information, I have tried talking to the developer, but he has not responded. The developer of the townhomes, thinking he might know what's going on, but he has not responded to me. So I'm still working on that.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to Whitney. I'm sorry, Whitney. I think you've got 15 minutes maybe left.
No, it's good. That was my question. Nice to meet you all, and I will try to keep up with your meetings going forward as much as I can to know what's going. And appreciate you for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Hey, sweetie. You have a good day.
All right, Whitney. Are you able to share?
I can share. I'm gonna be honest, this is more of like a soft introduction. We are very early stages, but so I'm mostly gonna go over kind of our company and the work that we've done. But yeah, I will definitely share that information.
Yeah, even if you just have some location information that would help people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm familiar with it, but I don't know about anybody else.
Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
5x5.
Yeah, we see it.
Perfect. Oh gosh, this is all over the place. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm with Whitney Wilkins. I'm with Sage Investment Group. I am here on the West Coast. I'm in Washington State. From Tacoma, Washington. It's just south of Seattle. So it's a little early over here. So gotta get my kids up eventually. But no, I'm really excited. I know Teresa recommended me meeting with you guys because we're looking at taking on a new project that's going to be close to this community. I know it's technically in the Sugar Creek area. It borders a lot of different residential communities. So that is our goal, especially as we continue to move on to this process, is that we want to make sure that we're connecting with the community members. That's very important to us. But a little bit different from the what we just heard, like a new build project. So our specific niche is actually converting hotels into apartment buildings, specifically studio apartment buildings. Sometimes we're able to add 1 units, but the project that we're looking at right now would also be a studio apartment complex. So we actually have worked in Charlotte before. We're under construction right now on a project which I'll go into. So now we're looking on taking on a couple more projects, and this one specifically, yes, is nearby your neighborhood. So, yeah. So again, yeah, just specific as to who we are. So yeah, we specialize in that niche real estate, focusing on multifamily housing. And it's through that asset class conversion. So basically, we look at hotels in high density growth markets that do not have enough housing, and we utilize the strengths of what hotels have with the utilities package, which is really cool. And I'll go over that to be able to basically create naturally affordable workforce housing. So this project is basically it's what you call standard like market rate project. So this will be, so unlike the last project, we are completely a private entity. We aren't, we're not receiving any funding from the city of Charlotte. We're completely private. This will be a market rate apartment complex. But because it's studio apartments, it's what we call naturally kind of affordable workforce housing. And as I mentioned with the utilities, what's really great is that we utilize how hotels were built, because they were built to have everything shared, the cable, the internet, all the utilities. And so when our tenants move in, instead of having them kind of chase that down and get that set up individually, that's set up for them through our property management company, and it's packaged into an all-inclusive price. So for example, some of our other properties, it's like, hey, all of those things are, let's say $150 or $200, and that's all set up for you. So it does make it a lot. It's a cost effective, and it makes it a lot easier for our tenants. Safety is a huge part of all of our projects. So what we do is we make sure we're partnering with all the local police departments. We track the activity in that neighborhood. So we also make sure to give not just city staff, but also local police departments updates on our construction and our timelines and what's going on. Also, because of what we do, a lot of these hotels that we acquire, sometimes they've had some activity going on, previously on them. So it's good to keep the local police department involved to make sure that we're keeping our construction site secure. We've been really effective in doing this. Also because as we complete the project, we do security fencing with a gated key code entry. Base minimum, we do security cameras. Sometimes depending on the site, we'll have some on-site security, especially through construction. We see that a lot. So we try to make these as secure as possible. And we do have on-site property management along with motion sensors as well. And we've seen, as it's mentioned on here, we've seen pretty drastic, in some areas like crime reduction. So in some of our properties, we've seen like 40 to 50% crime reduction, like 6 months after we open, for example. And we do like to keep track of that and do regular polls. So we're seeing kind of regular reductions because again, we like to have a net positive impact to the areas. Community engagement. We also like to have that aspect to our properties as well. We make sure to get our property management teams involved. So whether that's being involved, in local events, sponsoring local events, hosting them, A lot of times we kind of clear the path. We've got these big parking lots. And so we at times, if it's possible, like to host events for the community. So we're host, whether it's resource fairs or trunk or treats. We do an annual trunk or treat in one of our cities where we own properties. So anywhere where we can find opportunity, we love to really be involved. We also like to give that opportunity to our tenants too, to say, hey, is there like a local Safe Streets meeting? We can host that, in our meeting rooms, because we also do a full renovation of those meeting spaces to create new amenity spaces for the tenants. So we like to also kind of bring those community groups to our properties as well. Tenants. We get this question a lot because yes, because we are like a standard market rate. It's going to go by any other screening process. We utilize our property management companies. Sorry, yes. Oh, is there a question? Oh, no, I'll keep going. But yeah, we go through our property management companies to help us screen all the applications. It's going to be your typical background screening, credit screening, qualification is going to be at 2.5 to 3 times income verification process. Every city is going to be a little bit different about what other qualifications are needed for that application, but those 3, the background, the credit, the income verification, those are going to be standard across the board. So this is the project that we're looking at, and I feel so bad. I really don't have too much information to provide right now because we're super early stages. We don't have renderings or blueprints or anything at this time. The property that we're looking at, though, is the 4330 Old Interstate Road. So it's in the Sugar Creek area, borders, I believe, Graham and the I-85. So I've got an aerial view right here. So that's the property that we're looking at. What is going to be really interesting about this property, and this is why also we're talking to the community and getting feedback, is because in our initial conversations with the city, is that this is very much in an industrial area. And so we would be looking for a change of use on zoning. The city staff can't technically recommend it to be changed to residential zoning because it's in such a heavy industrial zone. And that's why we're getting feedback from the larger community. I've spoken with, I'd have to look at the list at this point. I've spoken with, CMPD, Councilwoman Dante Anderson for this district, the Hidden Valley Homeowners Association, nonprofits that we've worked with on our past, on our previous project, which I'll get into. So far, we've received really positive feedback in support of converting this property. I know from CMPD, they very much support it because they do believe that it would reduce activity and patrol need, or not patrol need, but activity specifically on that property. It would make it easier for them. Same thing, we've gotten a lot of support from the other groups that we've worked at, from that just a need of housing, and also tackling crime standpoint. But this is specifically the property we're looking at. Again, we're in really early stages, so it's probably going to be, we haven't even begun the application process because, again, we're just gathering community feedback. I know, as Joy mentioned, they had held a previous community meeting. We actually have done that for other properties in Charlotte. We're not there for this one yet. We're gathering this initial feedback. If we do move forward, then what I will definitely do is provide you all with the more details. I'll send over renderings that we have, for example, when we're going to have that community meeting. You guys will absolutely be the first to know that, like, official community meeting as part of the application process. But what we're looking for right now is, is this something that we want to move forward with? Because it is such an industrial zone and the city staff can't technically recommend it. It is also in line with the corridors of opportunity plan for improvement and to add housing. So we've gotten that feedback as well. So again, have gotten really good positive feedback, but we also do understand the situation that the city's in. So also wanted to show you guys example projects. Since I can't show you specifically what we want to do with this project, I'll show you what we have done to other hotel conversions. So again, these are some example before and after photos. So the top line is before. Some of the properties that we've acquired, they've been maybe halfway through construction and they've been abandoned, or some of the other photos of what those hotel rooms have looked like. So a lot of the lines of dilapidated hotel, not really meeting not really being utilized what they were originally meant for. A lot of them have maybe longer term stay residents, some criminal activities. So what Sage likes to do is we like to come in, identify those hotels and say, hey, what would be a great opportunity for these? We can take these offline and create needed workforce housing. And we do a full renovation inside and out to these properties. We also do them to the renovation spaces. So as you can see, there's some before photos on the top and some after photos on the bottom of how we've been able to convert these units into studio apartments and adding as full of a kitchen as possible. So we don't just kind of slap on like a small kitchenette and call it good. We do a full renovation and add on as full of a kitchen as possible, make it comfortable. So a queen bed can fit in there, do a full renovation of the bathroom area. We also do ADA units as well. To meet the needs of the community. So
Cool.
again, we want to make these as nice as possible.
That looks good.
Here's also a convert. I love to add this photo because a lot of times when we gain these hotels, sometimes they have like indoor or outdoor pools that can be in really rough state. So we like to use the amenities areas. We don't take them away. We're like, hey, how can we like change them and make them nice for the tenant? So on the left side is a pool of, and that's what it looked like when we acquired one of the properties. And so we decided pools can be really tricky to maintain. So we decided to make it a joint space area. And that's actually only half of the room, but I wanted to do like an exact, an exact shot by shot. That's actually only half of the room. The other half actually has a huge full kitchen in it, TV, couches, everything that our tenants can utilize. And that's where we hold a lot of community meetings as well. So this complex can hold some of the local like business association meetings, as I mentioned, Safe Streets meetings, which was really great for our tenants to attend. So this is so Speedway Inn, 1408 West Sugar Creek Road. This is a project that we're currently under construction on in Charlotte. So I wanted to be able to show you guys some renderings for that project. So this is one where we did absolutely go through the process with the city, went through the application process, closed on the property, got the permits, everything, and we are under construction and slated to open actually at the end of this summer. That's actually one of the great things about doing these conversions is that we can add these housing units a lot faster because we're not doing a completely ground up construction. We're utilizing the structure, full renovation, and then getting it online much faster. So we're looking at end of summer, early fall this year to start leasing these properties. So this is what the property looked like beforehand. This was the Speedway Inn. What it looked like as we acquired it. And then here's some of the renderings. And so again, we're currently under construction. And this is what our design is and what it will look like once it's done. So this is some of the outdoor area. Again, we're utilizing the outdoor spaces as well. We do indoor and outdoor spaces to also add amenity spaces for our tenants. So this has got like a pergola with some shaded seating. Here's some of the indoor spaces as well. On the bottom right corner, that's actually what it looked like when we acquired it. And then the top left is what it will look like once we're done with construction. So again, using that hotel lobby area and converting it to an amenity area for our tenants. Here is just, you don't have to read through all this, but it is, I like to add a testimonial on there because we work with a lot of city councils. And so one of the, again, it's actually where I utilize the one where I'm from. I'm in Tacoma, Washington. We have some properties here. So I utilize this one. This is from one of our council members in Tacoma, Washington, because we have multiple properties here. And so we've had a really good working relationship with city council. I can also send this out in PDF as well, so you guys can get the chance to read it over. But I mean, we'd like to have really good working relationships with cities because again, the whole point is we're trying to have a net positive impact to the city and to the residents and to add that workforce housing. Perfect. And then I'll go into questions. I'm gonna fudge it a bit. I'll give myself 5 minutes for questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney. Does anybody have a question? Jack?
Quick one for me. Again, with regards to Whitney, what is the cost to move into one of these units, these studios?
Yes. So we don't figure out that exact cost until like just a few weeks before we open. Everything is based on market rate and the market's fluctuating right now. I know that I think I would have to look because we don't even have it decided for our first project. And so I'd have to look at those rates. I think for a standard studio unit, it could be, I know at some of our other like nearby properties, I mean, you're looking anywhere from like, let's say I'm just going to throw out like $800. It could be less. It could be more. I'd have to look at the market rate of studio apartments. That'll be decided right before opening. But I will say what we like to do, and anybody can do. So what we like to do is say, hey, what is the market rate for the most like nearby studio unit? And we like to go under that. We like to be extremely competitive because again, our whole purpose is we're privately developing doing this, so we're market rate. However, we want to be able to add like workforce housing, and so we like to be the most competitive in that market. So whatever at that time the cheapest studio unit is, we're probably going to come under cheaper than that because we really want to be attractive to people in the area.
Teresa, is this over by, I'm just looking at the map, forgive me. Is this over by Reagan?
Believe so.
It's the other side of it's 85 going towards downtown on North Graham.
Southeast corner of Graham Street and 85.
Well, the new one. Are we talking about the new one or the current one?
New one.
The new one. The current one is, yes, close to 85 in Sugar Creek.
Behind the Exxon station.
Yeah.
What was the Exxon station?
Do you have a specific unit count that you're looking at for future acquisitions?
Yeah, so our normal, we normally acquire hotels that are around like 100 to 200 units. This specific property, the current budget in, it's 100 units.
I'm going to reach out to you in the next couple of days.
Okay, great.
You have a hotel to sell, Jack?
Actually, I'm aware Baymont is available. Heel Charlotte failed to come to terms on the north side on Equipment Drive, and then also VRQ, Veterans Restoration Quarters up in Asheville is wiped out, and they're looking for a benefactor to come in and rebuild. So if you're looking for a nonprofit, a charitable process, I could highly recommend that one.
Okay.
I've been up there twice on property cleanup with my church.
Oh, excellent.
Awesome. Thank you.
Right along the Swananoa.
All right. Anybody else got any questions for Whitney before she has to run off?
No, thank you. Thank you for
Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Well, this is Charlene Henderson, and I am with the Hidden Valley Community Association. And
oh, excellent.
Throughout March, talking to Marjorie Parker, she was excited about the project, and she hopes and prays that it does go through because it will help alleviate some of the pressure that we have in that area. So congratulations, and I hope everything works out for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I have to say I agree with Charlene and the folks in Hidden Valley because this is already kind of de facto housing. I think it's one of those motels. Certainly, I knew of a formerly homeless guy who would, whenever he had any money, he would stay over there for a week at a time or whatever, which is very expensive. I mean, I bet he could spend close to $800 just for a week or 10 days. So yeah, it sounds good to me. I don't know that I have any reservations as far as it being in an industrial zone. It is very close to North Graham Street, to a bus line, very close, a lot of that industrial zone a little closer to North End is changing. And so I see that, longer term, some of that industrial zone will start to change as well, to more city, inside city type uses. Melissa or Will, either of you got any comments or questions? I saw Will Russell joined us a little late. He's also on the Planning Commission.
Yes, thanks, Teresa. Will Russell. Whitney, interesting project. I think I was part of the rezoning that you did maybe a couple of years ago. So I'm
Yeah,
somewhat
yep.
familiar with the project. Just curious about two things. One, are there going to be any units targeted for seniors? Because we know we've got a older population in this part of the city. And
Yeah,
then
so
two,
not, oh, sorry, yes.
no, go ahead and answer that question and I'll follow up
Oh
myself.
yeah, I was gonna say not specifically. However, it is that is. I mean, yes, that is a very normal. Our normal tenants are everyday working individuals, veterans, retirees. That is a huge block of our tenants. So not something that we've necessarily done in the past, but I mean, it's definitely food for thought. If there is a huge senior population and that is a need, and the city will allow us like as a private, market rate building to like set aside so many units just for seniors, it's definitely something we'll explore.
No, thank you. And then one other thought, transportation is really a big issue, especially for the segment of the population that you're focusing on. Is there any thought of maybe working with CATS to provide bus passes with the rent, or maybe working with Uber or one of the very local micro mobility companies to provide some kind of dedicated service? I know I've seen some of the apartment units in Uptown and Noda do that, work with a local company to provide micro transit. So I was just curious if that was something you'd be interested in.
I mean, it's never anything that we've done before, but again, we're always, willing to be flexible for our property. So I would actually love to talk with you further about that if that absolutely is an opportunity.
Sure. I've got the names of a couple of two companies around that do that micro mobility stuff that I'd be happy to pass along to you.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. Melissa, I'm just calling on you because you're also somewhat close to this area with all your North End work. But maybe you can't talk right now. So, I think there certainly is a bus line and a bus stop very close to that location.
And we've done
people kind of stay there, if they don't have housing.
And we're gonna make sure that we've got like the mapped out walking path and everything to nearby transit, because we know that that's going to definitely be a requirement as far as the application process. So we're going to have all that. Yes, making sure accessible for our tenants.
Yeah, and there's also some I don't know what the right word is. Well, there was a petition anyway for a stop on the red line at Craighead. I don't know what the feasibility is of that, but that also would not, I'm guessing that would be within a half mile. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the red line commuter rail is, along that corridor on that section of North Grand Street. So it could potentially be, very close to mass transit or new rail, but we don't know yet about the stop locations.
And just to jump in, Teresa, I'm sorry. May 8th is the UDO meeting, and hopefully and prayerfully, when we're talking about Derita and the transit, we definitely need to make sure we try to petition to have a stop at Craighead and North End, because it's definitely needed. So hopefully, you all on this call can be a part of that meeting on May 8th, so that we can just really be, in the mix of it all while it's happening.
And May 8th, where is that? What?
So, Will, do you know exactly where it's at? It should be at the city county building.
Are you talking about for the transit meeting?
It's a UDO. It's a UDO meeting, but I'm looking to make sure that we're staying in contact with the Craighead.
The comp plans, which is May 12th. There's the public public hearings for the comprehensive plan or the
Yeah,
individual area
Yeah,
plan?
that one
That's
yeah,
too.
for,
May
Yeah.
12th.
yes, I believe that's what she was referring to, and yes, that would be part of that. As the area plan is talking about transportation and the infrastructure, how do things work together with what you have on the ground and what we expect to see on the ground? So it is imperative that people are involved in that process and providing comments. The area plans for Derita are currently up for public comment. You can look at them online. Please feel free to go in and drop a comment. It's pretty easy to do. I've done several. So, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to Teresa, myself, or Melissa when she gets off of mute, and we'll be glad to help you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I will send out an email about that process. Anybody else got anything else for Whitney? Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes. No, thank you guys so much for inviting me to this. Again, I'm so sorry I couldn't provide more information specifically about the project, but I do plan to follow up with you all once we do have more information and some pictures. Because again, this is going to be, oh gosh, sorry, this is going to be an ongoing process.
And
especially
it'll
as
be
we
a
do submit the
rezoning,
application.
right? You did say you will have
Yes.
to do a formal
We're going to have to
rezoning.
do a rezoning. So yeah, this is just the beginning. So I'm sure you guys will hear from me again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you all. You have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. I don't have anything more to share. I was just gonna see if I have a slide on that. On the community area plans, I don't know that I do. If you have the link by chance, Will or Melissa, to put in the chat, otherwise I'll send it in the email, but the city has released the 14 different geographies, the community area plans, that's been the result of, a couple of years of fine tuning and putting on paper the comprehensive plan from 2040. Well, it is the 2040 comprehensive plan. So we, in our area, we fall into north, middle, and outer. I don't know who gets credit for giving the geographies names, but they sound like belly buttons to me. Anyway, north, middle, and outer is our area, and I'll follow up with an email. But yes, you can go into the map. You can really get really granular and look at stuff, how it's zoned, and what the plan is. And there's a long introduction as well that kind of gives an overview of each geographic area as it is today and what they expect in the future. So and public comments, you can make the comments on the map, and then there will be a hearing, an actual public hearing in front of City Council, which I believe that is May 12th. And that, you can sign up to speak if you feel strongly about anything. You can actually sign up to speak there. Let me see if somebody.
Do you have the actual times? Because if May 12th is a transit meeting, May 8th is a UDO meeting.
I find it very hard to Google stuff while I'm doing this, but anybody else? I just saw that something has, if you're getting the emails from the city, something was rescheduled for May 12th, and I only remember it because it's my dad's birthday.
That's the Teresa, that's the city council meeting where they'll be doing the public hearing for the community area plans.
Okay.
They're
Yes.
presented for council.
Okay, so that's correct. Then I don't know what's happening on the 8th. Have you got a link for that, Charlene?
No, I don't. I just wrote it down.
Okay. Because May 8th is a Thursday. I'm not sure what that is. So yeah, if you have the details, or thank you, Kelsey. Do you have an idea, perhaps, Kelsey? Because I don't think anything about May 8th came from Neighborhood Business Services. So we're just trying to figure out what UDO meeting is happening on May 8th.
I'm not sure. I believe the original date for public comment was May 8th or 6th, but they did push it back to May 12th. So I'm not sure what's happening on May 8th.
Okay. Well, if you get more information, Charlene, let us know. And I'll try to figure it out. I just can't do it while I'm doing the Zoom meeting because things will go very sideways. All right, folks, I have 10 o'clock and lots to do, but yeah, the big things that are, the big planning things are the community area plans, the CATS red line, which they must be getting close to having a report or 15% design update for us. So
Hey, Teresa.
those are the two big things. Will?
Oh yeah, I was just saying I found there's a transit town hall meeting tonight at 6 o'clock at Weeping Willow.
Okay. Transit Town Hall, Weeping Willow. I don't know what that is.
It's a church.
Okay.
It's off Plaza Extension.
Okay, and that's a transit meeting. I don't know that one. Yeah, if you're not on Kelsey's mailing list, get on it. She sends, especially if you're on an HOA and you communicating to the rest of your neighborhood, get on her list and encourage your neighbors to get on the neighborhood and business services. You get updates from Kelsey. And generally, it'll be a lot of different things that either the city councilors are putting on or the city staff, or if there's any request for public input on things. Felicia had a question in the chat, and I believe you were talking about the site on Oneida. All of that was rezoned, I don't know when, a long time ago, when Mayfield Apartments, the senior apartments were built. I think all of that was rezoned at multifamily at that time, which has got to be 20 years ago. Maybe more, since you've lived here 25 years. I don't, I can try to find out the history of that zoning, but it has been zoned for multifamily as long as I've known. I've been here since 2007. It's just been vacant, and it was owned, I believe, by Bendel, the company that is there. So I guess they just recently decided to sell some of their land. So that's why it's coming up for development now. But the zoning has been in place. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Felicia. Anybody else got anything? I've got to wrap this meeting today. We don't have any significant rezonings really. Nothing new.
Well, I definitely want to just add, I want everyone to know and understand about the transit tax. Before we vote on that transit tax, we have to know that we are completely satisfied with what's going on with it, because it's a lot of discussion, it's a lot of issues that are going on, and if we're not connected and understand, what's happening behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, then we're going to vote for something and it's going to tax us, and we're not going to be involved in it, or we're not going to have the amenities of whatever they do. So I just wanted to put that out there before we vote on this transit tax. Please be involved and go to these meetings as much as possible and voice your concerns.
Are you referring to the penny tax?
I'm referring to that tax, that transit tax. It's still all about the transit.
It's a half-cent sales tax that they will probably put on the, I don't even think it's been decided, but it will be on, should be on the ballot in November, a referendum to approve or deny that sales tax increase. It's a half-cent sales tax increase for transit.
So it's quite a few town halls that are being held. And when you hear town hall, that means there are some concerns with the communities that are involved or impacted. So anytime you're able to get to any of these town halls, please do so and make sure that your community has a voice within whatever they're saying. Because if we don't pay attention to it, it's just going to happen. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Charlene. All right. Anybody else got anything?
Oh, and also, Teresa, I just wanted to make a highlight that when we did go to the city, Hidden Valley went to the city and had that petition and that rezoning issue. Well, the city council did go against the I think the planning committee for not allowing the developer or the investor to come into our community and do put two homes on one lot. So they voted that down, and so it was a big win for Hidden Valley. And so I just wanted to lift that up. Always make sure you represent your community so that people just don't come in and do what they want to do. So we did win that petition to not put two homes on one lot. That's called down zoning. So we did win that. So I just wanted to lift that up as well.
Thank you, Charlene. Yeah, that was an interesting case because it was a kind of an oversized lot. The developer or the owner was hoping to subdivide and to be able to put one more house in Hidden Valley. But it was voted down by city council, so we'll see what happens next. There are some bigger bills in the state legislature that might have consequences for all the neighborhoods in Charlotte, as we're trying to figure out how to add more housing generally everywhere where we already have the infrastructure. So that's a big challenge because neighborhoods don't want to change, but there is a big pressure with growth and people who want to move here and live here and find housing in some of our great neighborhoods. So it's a balance and a challenge, and there'll be lots more conversations around that, I'm sure. All right, folks, I am going to finish off here. Thank you so much for coming. I think there was two very interesting proposals. The need is great. If you don't know, haven't followed, the need is enormous for housing in within the city limits. As much as we've had, record numbers of apartments being built in the last couple of years, permits have slowed down a lot, and it will be just a year or two before we're struggling with real rising rents and affordability. We already have affordability issues, but the more you can build, the more older stock will become more affordable. That's kind of how supply and demand works. So thanks, guys. Anybody got any last comments? We're down to 12 people. Otherwise, I'm gonna say goodbye until breakfast on June 7th at Maria's, 10 o'clock. Unless, I bump into you at any of the other meetings that are happening. You can always go to the Charlotte City's YouTube channel. Just about every meeting is public and recorded, and you can watch it live or, watch the recording. And then try to get on some of the city's mailing lists to get notices for some of these town halls. And I'll try to figure out what's happening on May 8th, and share that information. All right, folks. I think we're done. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye.